Sweet Symphony is a song by English alternative rock band The Verve, and is the lead track on their third studio album, Urban Hymns. It is based on an Andrew Loog Oldham orchestral version of the Rolling Stones song, The Last Time, from which it samples a main theme, and involved some legal controversy surrounding plagiarism charge as a result. Sweet Symphony was released on June 16, 1997 by Hot Recordings as the first single from the album, reaching number 2 on the UK singles chart. The song's momentum built slowly in the US throughout the latter months of 1997, ultimately leading to a CD single release on March 3, 1998 by Virgin Records America, helping the song to reach number 12 on the Billboard Hot 100. The song's music video, which received heavy rotation on MTV, focuses on Richard Ashcroft lip-syncing the song while walking down a busy London pavement, oblivious to what is going on around and refusing to change his stride or direction throughout. At the 1998 Brit Awards, Sweet Symphony was nominated for Best British Single, and at the 1998 MTV Video Music Awards, the song was nominated for Video of the Year, Best Group Video, and Best Alternative Video. In 1999, the song was nominated for the Grammy Award for Best Rock Song. Regarded as the band's signature song and one of the defining tracks of the Britpop era, Sweet Symphony has featured in Best Ever Song polls. In 1998, BBC Radio 1 listeners voted it the third best track ever. In 2004, Rolling Stone ranked it number 392 on their list of the 500 greatest songs of all time. In 2007, NME magazine placed the song at number 18 in its list of the 50 greatest indie anthems ever. In September 2007, a poll of 50 songwriters in Q magazine placed it in a list of the top 10 greatest tracks. In the Australian Triple J Hottest 100 of all time, 2009, the track was voted the 5th best song of all time. Pitchfork Media included the song at number 29 on their top 200 tracks of the 90s list. In 2011, NME placed it at number 9 on its list 150 best tracks of the past 15 years. The song featured at number 1 in Paste magazine's poll of the 25 awesome one-hit wonders of the 1990s. Song credits: although the song's lyrics were written by Verve vocalist Richard Ashcroft, its distinctive passage for strings was sampled from the 1965 Andrew Oldham Orchestra symphonic recording of The Last Time, arranged and written by David Whittaker, inspired by the 1965 Rolling Stones song of the same title. Originally, the Verve had negotiated a license to use a 5-note sample from the Oldham recording, but former Stones manager Alan Klein claimed that the Verve broke the agreement and used a larger portion. Despite its original lyrics and string intro, the music of Sweet Symphony was sampled from the Oldham track, which led to a lawsuit with ABKCO Records, Klein's holding company, and eventually settled out of court. The Verve relinquished all of their royalties to Klein, owner of ABKCO Records, whilst songwriting credits were changed to Jagger Ashcroft. The Verve bassist Simon Jones said, "We were told it was going to be a 50/50 split, and then they saw how well the record was doing. They rung up and said we want 100% or take it out of the shops, you don't have much choice." After losing the composer credits to the song, Ashcroft commented, "This is the best song Jagger and Richards have written in 20 years, noting it was their biggest UK hit since Brown Sugar." On Ashcroft's return to touring, the song traditionally ended the set list. Ashcroft also reworked the single for VH2 Live for the music channel VH1, stripping the song of its strings. Ashcroft is quoted as saying during the show, "Despite all the legal angles and the bullshit, strip down to the chords and the lyrics and the melody and you realize there is such a good song there." In a Cash for Questions interview with Q magazine published in January 1999, Keith Richards was asked if he thought it was harsh taking all the Verve's royalties from Sweet Symphony. He replied, "I'm out of whack here, this is serious lawyer shit. If the Verve can write a better song, they can keep the money." Production: "This was certainly the most successful track I've done," noted producer Youth. "I think Richard had actually cut a version with John Leckie, but, by the time I came on board, he didn't want to do the song. I persuaded him to have a go at cutting a version, but at first he wasn't really into it. it was only once we'd put strings on it that he started getting excited. Then, towards the end, Richard wanted to chuck all the album away and start again. What was my reaction? Horror. Sheer horror. All I could say was, I really think you should reconsider. Music video. The music video is an homage to the music video for Massive Attack, unregistered trademark SA unfinished Sympathy unregistered trademark, and focuses on Ashcroft lip-syncing the song while walking down a busy London pavement, refusing to change his stride or direction throughout, except for one instance where he is forced to stop for a moving car and a reflection is seen of him standing stationary in the car's tinted window. He repeatedly bumps into passers-by, narrowly avoids being hit by a car, and jumps on top of the bonnet of another vehicle stopped in his path. At the end of the video, the rest of the Verve join Ashcroft, and the final shot sees them walking down the street into the distance. This then leads into the beginning of the video for The Drugs Don't Work. The music video was nominated for a number of awards, including 3 MTV Awards at the 1998 MTV Video Music Awards. Ashcroft starts walking from the southeast corner of the intersection of Oxton and Falkirk Streets in Oxton, North London, subsequently proceeding north along the east side of Oxton's street. The British comedy band Fat Les would later release a direct parody for their 1998 song Vindaloo, an alternative anthem for England at the 1998 FIFA World Cup, where Paul Kaye takes the role of an Ashcroft look-alike who is mocked by a growing group of passers-by as the video progresses. Live 8, on July 2, 2005, at the Live 8 concert in Hyde Park, London, Coldplay invited Ashcroft to perform the song with them in their set. He played it after only one rehearsal in Crystal Palace. Ashcroft was introduced by Chris Martin as the best singer in the world, and he described the song as the best song ever written. On December 25, 2005, a documentary entitled Live 8, A Bittersweet Symphony was aired, reliving moments of the day featuring a portion of Ashcroft's performance as the music for the show's opening soundtrack. In popular culture, film and television, in 1999, the song was used as the final song in the teen film Cruel Intentions and is included on the film's soundtrack. The song appears in an episode of the television series The Simpsons in the episode titled That 90s Show. Sports. Since 2008, the song has been used by ITV as the background music to the opening sequence for England's international football matches. The qualifiers for the 2010 FIFA World Cup, and UEFA Euro 2012. The Seattle Seahawks used the song as their entrance music at home games, and have been using it for over a decade. Most recently, the song was used as the entrance music for the team during the pre-game festivities at Super Bowl XLVII, played at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey to conclude the 2013 season. It was also used by the Seahawks during the franchise's first Super Bowl appearance at Super Bowl XL, played at Ford Field in Detroit, Michigan to conclude the 2005 season. The New Jersey Devils used this song after a home loss at the Prudential Center along with Closing Time by Semisonic. Video games. In 2009, DJ Hero remixed the R&B Pop Symphony Orchestra instrumental version of this song, with All Eyes on Me by Tupac, and Rock the Bells by LL Cool J, cover versions. American recording artist Bianca Copyright Knowles mashed the song with her own If I Were a Boy during the setlist for the Mrs. Carter Show World Tour. The string motif of Bittersweet Symphony was used during the performances. Philip Matusavage from the website Music OMH gave a negative review for the performance of the song, writing that it finds Knowles alone on stage just when distraction is needed most. Mexican group Mexican Institute of Sound did a Spanish cover of this song on their album, Soy Sauce, called Sinfonia Agridulce. Brian Jonestown Massacre did a hardcore punk version of this song. American singer Madonna used a sample of the song on her 2001 hit Don't Tell Me while on her 2004 Reinvention World Tour. American band Limp Bizkit covered the song in a medley with Ma Paragraphedly Cra 1/4 Ease Home Sweet Home, called Home Sweet Home Bittersweet Symphony, for their compilation Greatest Hits. South African band Absinthe covered the song on their album A Rendezvous with Nirvana. Track listings: CD 1HUTDG82, Bittersweet Symphony a Euro 600, Lord I Guess I'll Never Know a Euro 451, Country Song a Euro 750, Bittersweet Symphony a Euro 435, CD 2HUTDX82, Bittersweet Symphony a Euro 752, So Sister a Euro 411, Echo Bass a Euro 639, Cassette HUTC 82, Bittersweet Symphony a Euro 435, Lord I Guess I'll Never Know a Euro 451, 7HUTLH 82, Bittersweet Symphony a Euro 435, Lord I Guess I'll Never Know a Euro 451, 12HUTT 82, Bittersweet Symphony a Euro 600, Lord I Guess I'll Never Know a Euro 451, Bittersweet Symphony, Country Song a Euro 750, Promo CD HUTC DP 82, Bittersweet Symphony a Euro 435, Promo 12 HUTTP 82, Bittersweet Symphony, Remix 12 HUTTR 82, Bittersweet Symphony, US version. On March 10, 1998, Bittersweet Symphony was released in America. The single was distributed by Virgin Records, CDV 25D38634, Bittersweet Symphony a Euro 558, Lord I Guess I'll Never Know a Euro 452, So Sister a Euro 411, Echo Bass a Euro 639, Cassette 4 km-38634, Bittersweet Symphony a Euro 558, Lord I Guess I'll Never Know a Euro 452, Promo CD DPR 012727, Bittersweet Symphony a Euro 416, Bittersweet Symphony a Euro 557. Bittersweet Symphony a Euro 012, Bittersweet Symphony a Euro 011, Promo 12 SPR 012775, Bittersweet Symphony 550, Bittersweet Symphony a Euro 557, Bittersweet Symphony 550, Japanese version, CDVJCP 12077, Bittersweet Symphony a Euro 600, Lord I Guess I'll Never Know a Euro 451, Country Song a Euro 750, Bittersweet Symphony a Euro 435, Dutch version, CD 8,943,752, Bittersweet Symphony a Euro 600, Lord I Guess I'll Never Know a Euro 451, Country Song a Euro 750, Bittersweet Symphony a Euro 435, Electro version, Daisy, Bittersweet Symphony a Euro 613, Charts, Chart Successions, References. External links, full lyrics of this song at Metro Lyrics.